It's 7:42. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television. I was having some problems with audio and hoping that this comes through okay. You can always let me know in the comments section. But you are watching First Warning Live, where we focus on all things weather. And this is Christmas week, so there's a lot riding on a weather forecast for Christmas. And we get sponsored by Marco's Pizza because we get hungry from time to time. We're going to be giving away free pizza tomorrow and half pizza off again today and tomorrow and this week. So we've got some great opportunities for Marco's. But I got to get to what's really pressing, which is the fact we've got some showers, rain showers arriving tomorrow morning. You didn't get that memo? I didn't get that memo. You get that memo? Some people, I didn't get that memo. Should be out of here before and around noon, because the rest of your Tuesday should be nice and dry. In fact, you can see we have clouds building right now. A little bit of false echoes coming down from Richmond. Really, it's pretty quiet. There's a very weak area of high pressure that's going to buckle. It is actually snowing in parts of Pennsylvania right now, maybe in the far eastern panhandle of West Virginia, but that's where it is. I mean, that's going to stay up there. It's colder there, but some of the rain that's in Lexington, Kentucky, maybe Portsmouth, Ohio, moving toward Huntington, West Virginia. Boy, you seem to know those areas well. Yeah, I worked there for 2 years. At WSAZ for a while. But anyway, the tri-state area is where some of that rain's going to eventually come back in here. You can see it very well here, right? This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Many of you who might be up doing some last-minute shopping, maybe you're doing some gift wrapping, but you could do that from home, I presume. This is actually representative of 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So where are you going to be at 8? I'm going to be asleep. Okay, that's fine. If you're off, that's great. Some of us are going to be working out the door. Tomorrow morning is 9 o'clock. Is it dry everywhere? No, but it's also not raining everywhere. It's not raining necessarily in the Outer Banks at 9, but it could very well be focused at that time, at that hour, around the peninsulas. So I'm just focusing on what we're going to experience tomorrow morning, because once this gets out of here around midday, that's what, 10:30, and then it pretty much sweeps out. So by 4 o'clock tomorrow, well, before 4, I think many of us are going to be needing some sunglasses, and that'll carry us right into Christmas Eve day, where we might actually start 7 a.m. with a touch of fog. I know what some of you are thinking. Let's see, what's 7 a.m. looking like? I can tell you this, 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning might actually include a little bit of fog. I'm thinking about that song, which I won't sing. It says, fog on Christmas Eve, Santa came to say. You know what I'm saying? There's a song there. I don't know. I mean, do we have to, in the weather committee, be emboldened to everything? I want a white Christmas and I want a foggy Christmas Eve. Would that make your life any more meaningful? I don't think so. But anyway, that's just me. But I can tell you this with some smiles. Yesterday was the start of winter. That happened at 10:03 yesterday morning. We're 2 days away from Christmas Eve. We are 3 days away from Christmas, and we're 4 days away from this sweater doesn't fit. I got to go exchange it and use some of my gift cards on Friday. Got it all covered for you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm glad you're here. By the way, if you want some pizza or anything really, at marcos.com at half off. Just from listening to me rant about the weather, you get a deal. I think that's pretty sweet. Our friends at Marco's are very sweet and kind because they're generous this time of year. They've been generous like Cyber Monday, Pizza Tuesday. Well, I thought it was Taco Tuesday. Well, whatever. But anyway, any day this week, again, 50% off your pizza if you use the promo code WTKR50. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I hope I win free pizza tomorrow. Well, we're going to give away free pizza tomorrow. But if you want to know, we talk a lot, I think I do, about the fact that there are 6 locations that participate in the contest. Meaning if you want to win free pizza, these are the 6 locations you would redeem that free pizza. There are also the 6 locations you would redeem half off your pizza. But if you want to get your name in the pipeline for tomorrow, because we're going to do it on, not Thursday this week, but tomorrow, go to our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos. Love the fact that you could get a Pozzoli tonight half off. You could get a Magnifico for half off. You may not even know that they have subs. I don't even talk about the subs. Subs are dynamite. Chicken Club, they got a steak and cheese, man. You got to try it half off. Why not try it? And if you don't like, maybe you like the ham and cheese sub or the meatball sub. I didn't know they had a meatball sub, but they do. It's got provolone and their original sauce. And if you're still hungry, I don't know why you would be, but hey, they've got great desserts. They've got the Cinna Squares, which I've mentioned before, but they've got the chocolate Cinna Squares. I mean, telling you what, I could get that for 50% off tonight. You could. Double chocolate brownie. It is, after all, it is the holiday. And sometimes we just have to let a little air out of our tire, right? Give yourself permission, whether you're on some kind of special kind of calorie intake, just know you can allow some days of the year, let some air out of the tire. I'm thinking Thanksgiving's one of them, and why not Christmas week be the other? So there you go. Getting back to the weather, this is a great chance for you to let me know what you're thinking. I noticed that some of the comments that might have come in from last week are now populating on my screen. But I got to go ahead and reload some of those so that I can have them at my disposal. One of the cool things about this software that I'm using, and I am solo here, is that I just have to make sure I import the right comments from the right day. And if there are any, and I think there are a few, I got Taj Brown on here. I got, let's see. Oh, this is comforting. This is comforting. I almost thought maybe, let me come back in here. I wasn't sure if you could hear me. I see the bars moving, but it wasn't my normal, what do you call it? The interface, your buttons, your audio buttons, they weren't there where I was looking for them. So I had to pick a different option, and so that's why I wasn't sure. But I'm glad. She says audio, seemingly, as I maybe yelled, maybe think I'm going to be heard even louder if I project a little more. But she says audio is a little off, but I can hear. Okay, so I mean, it's not perfect, but better to have me here and give you some information about tomorrow's rain so that you can prepare accordingly. That's what I was trying to get to earlier. Trying to get you ready for the day tomorrow. So the showers come in tomorrow. They're primarily going to be in the morning hours. Now, if we look down the road to Christmas, yes, I got 20% on Christmas. Boo. I know. 20% chance on Friday. But really, if you break down tomorrow, hour by hour, I think your best chance is between 9 and 10. 9 and 10 in the morning, best chance, I think, for some rain. Now, does that mean that you could still get rain at 3? Maybe if you're in the Outer Banks. But I think it's pretty much out of Williamsburg before noon. And it'll try to move to stage right. It'll try and exit into the Atlantic Ocean. That's what I call stage right when I'm looking at the map. And I think that's going to be the case. So the rain's not going to be all that much. So that's maybe 1/10 of an inch. That might be generous. Maybe just a trace in some cases, but that's my expectation for tomorrow. If you're on the call, this is really the best map to pause because I got Joshua Armstrong, who recently, it looks like, has been and gotten married. He's got his little avatar there. I see his beautiful bride from a thumbnail here. Joshua, he's hoping that he gets some snow soon. We're going to talk about the cold air and why nobody saw it coming at the end of the year, but yours truly, as far as I could toot my own horn, this is first warning last check. And if this is the first warning, I was telling you back on the 1st of December that probably by the end of the year, we'd have a good chance of seeing some cold air. Cold air is inherently dry, Joshua. Doesn't mean it's snow, but you have to have cold air to get the snow. You see where I'm going? You got to have the ingredients. And right now, if I go back to December 1st, when we were looking at this picture that we call affectionately the stratospheric warming event, it looked really, really warm aloft. So warm, in fact, that it looked like it was on fuego, on fire, above maybe James Bay and north of Lake Superior. And when warm air rises, cold air sinks. So if you're hoping for a cold spell, warm air rises, cold air sinks. What we're going to see probably about, I said the 28th, looks like more like the 29th and 30th of next week. We'll be back in the 20s, maybe low to mid 20s to start the morning and struggling to get out of the lower 40s. That's kind of cold, but like I said, they come in waves, they come in stages. That's how I see it. I'm getting way ahead of myself. It is 7:50. Thank you for putting up with the strained audio, but I will tell you the rainfall forecast is suggest about 1/10 of an inch. I mean, it's just a model trying to figure this out. That's why I put 0.1 everywhere. It doesn't look all that going to be equally distributed, widely scattered. So really to focus on what we can expect tomorrow is 47, partly cloudy at noon, and I do see winds gusting to 25 tomorrow for your Tuesday. But if you're doing some shopping, I don't know, 1 o'clock to 4, nothing but sunshine. Sun's down at 4:53, and we got plenty of stars going into 7 p.m. on Tuesday night. Does that help? I hope it helps because, again, You could potentially sleep through this rain. If you even don't sleep till 9 or 10, maybe you're out the door at 11, you're not going to have much worries about an umbrella. You might want it if you're in the morning hours heading to work, but I don't think it's going to be an issue later on in the day. Weather headlines kind of summarize this for us. More clouds tonight, morning showers Tuesday. Well, I think you've covered that well. Thank you. And then how about Christmas Eve? Plenty of sunshine, highs in the 50s. Well, that's good to know. It's good intel. And then lastly, on this headline slide, Christmas Day. It's going to be mostly cloudy, highs in the 50s with a small rain chance. I don't want that to slip by you. Again, small rain chance. Doesn't mean it's happening at 7 a.m. when you're wide-eyed and bushy-tailed ready to look at what's under the tree, but it could come later in the day, right? Small rain chance. And we're going to talk about white Christmases. Historically speaking, I don't expect a white Christmas this week. That would be silly for you to just learn that now. No. I want to show you historically when and what kind of white Christmases we've had in Norfolk, just for some gee whiz kind of facts and figures. We'll make it part of the trivia, and I've expounded on that even beyond the trivia question tonight. So really just 2 days away. We're talking about Christmas Eve. That's a day, actually, evening. Of course, we know at night Santa's flying around, but 53 during the day if you're doing some last-minute wrapping. Mostly sunny, 53 degrees on Christmas Eve. And there's Rudolph. I can see him. He's squarely on the page here. 3 days until Christmas. And I don't know, the question is, are you ready? I mean, there's a lot of stress, David, with the holidays. I get it, because family's in town. But we do want to make sure everybody's cared for and everybody is looked out after. Christmas Eve 53, mostly sunny, and 57, some spots of rain possible on Christmas. If you've got a comment, this would be a good time to take a pause. Even though my audio may not be the best, I'm very grateful that you're here. I got maybe some other notes. Let's see here. Joshua remembers in 2010, yes. Yes. In fact, hold that thought, Joshua. I'm almost to the trivia question, but you are way ahead of the curve, and I appreciate you noting that in the comments section. I got, let's see, Taj Brown. He had a birthday last week. I believe it was last Friday. Happy belated birthday. He says, eating up good in the holiday week. Why not? Let some air out of the tire. You're allowed to. And let's see here. Lynn Old. Guess what? Lynn Old says, guess who got his pizza? I hope he got his certificate. Does everybody know by now? Lynn Old won the free pizza for a year certificate. The one that looks like this one. I'll take my comment off the screen. But this is what he got in the mail. And Lynn's name would have been maybe typed up here and all the dates and the expirations and stuff. But he would have gotten perhaps his December. That means he's got 11 more large pizzas, one topping, for free, all the way into 2026. Isn't that awesome? I'm very happy for Lynn. I'm always happy no matter who wins, but I don't always have the interactivity with the winners. Sometimes they watch either at a later time, and I get that. But I am very glad that you all are here. And I hope that everybody has a very happy holiday season. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I hope it's all blessed for you as we head into the new year. Now, let's talk about lows. Our low in Norfolk this morning was 35 degrees. It happened at 7:28. Where are you pulling that out of? The airport records. The airport records. Isn't it nice to have airport records be that precise? I mean, some people are like, oh, okay, I was asleep at 7:28. All right, that may be true. But it was 27 in Chesapeake and 28 in Suffolk, and I imagine they happened there roughly the same time. Now, here's what's really weird. The actual high today was 44. The daytime high was 43. But at 12:18, according to the records of the airport, 12:18 this morning, we hit 44. So we hit 44. It was kind of, you could say it's an upside down day, but really 1 degree difference from the afternoon really doesn't make much difference, but it will be remembered as a 44 degree day, even though that's not there. Okay, now time to come back full circle. Thanks to our friend Joshua and Taj and Kim and others. My weather trivia question, and I'm going to carry the ball down the field once we answer it correctly. But the question is, when was the last time Norfolk had a white Christmas based on the official definition of the National Weather Service? Now, to be clear, the definition of the National Weather Service is at 7 a.m. Christmas morning, there has to be at least 1 inch. At least 1 inch at 7 a.m. Now, I don't know if they discounted if it happens at 8 a.m. or if they just say, that's bad data. No. They just have this arbitrary, that's their benchmark. So let's work from that. if that is the definition, we'll work with it. Was it 2010, like Joshua Armstrong had indicated? Was it 1984, or was it 1966? I'm going to give you all a chance, maybe 20 seconds. I'll give you an A, B, or C choice here. Is it 2010 A, B, 1984, or C, 1966? Anyone's fair. Anyone can guess. Just throw it out there. Be the first one to guess in the comments section, and I will be sure to reveal the answer here for all of us. I appreciate everyone who's on here. Got Lynn Old, I got Joshua, I got Taj and Kim, and who else might be watching here? I think that's a good summary. I got Joshua who's convinced. He says it's A. Joshua, it's a great guess, but unfortunately there was not. It did snow on Christmas that year, but it was not enough to make it to 1 inch, according to the National Weather Service. So the answer actually, 1966. That means that was 59 years ago. Chances are, if you remember that, you've been here your whole life, and you're like 65 years old, because you'd have, what, 5 years old? You might have remembered a white Christmas. 1966, are you ready for this? I went ahead and did the numbers for you. They had 4 inches on the ground. But even to take it further, National Weather Service says it was up to 12 inches of snow in the Hampton Roads, Northeast North Carolina area in 1966. But what they measured, meaning the snowfall observers in Norfolk International, presumably in 1966 was only 4. But the 1935 year had 5 inches, 1962 had 2, 1914 2, 1945 1 inch. And I think there were a few other 1 inch amounts, but this is what I can access pretty easily. I'm kind of curious if anyone's old enough to remember the 1966. Maybe you were 6 years old. I don't know, but either way, you'd probably be well in your mid-60s now. Do you remember that Christmas? Because I'm sure, well, not as much snow as we had this February 19th. 4 inches on a Christmas morning might have felt magical. And if you just had some fog Christmas Eve so Rudolph could fly around, it might have been more magical. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is. Some people get a little too maybe sentimental, but it is what it is. Norfolk had a white Christmas as far back as 1966. We had well over 1 inch and 4 inches in that particular time. Lino loves the fact he got snow, but even though we're not getting one, he's got the 3 snowflakes on there. Thank you so much, Lynn. I hope that you enjoy the pizza. And again, if you're not a free pizza recipient winner, you are a 50% pizza winner if you just use the promo code WTKR50. That's our TV call letters. Check it out. I think you'll love it. It's really, really cool. Now, let's see here. Kim Thompson says, she says, I'm sad, as I come back, I'm sad we're not adding to 2025 to that chart. Well, you know, we did have on the 8th of December, we had like 3, 4, 5 inches of snow in Gloucester, Yorktown. They represented, Williamsburg had good snow. We just didn't have a whole lot. We had a little bit on Veterans Day, and even on the 8th was at 0.8 in Norfolk. It didn't last long. Virginia Beach had close to 1 inch too, even 2 inches in some cases. But I get ahead of myself. We're going to talk about winter and its opportunities to come back. By the way, it's now 7:59. These are the 8 o'clock temperatures populated magically on your screen. It is 35 in Manteo and Currituck right now, 31 in Suffolk, 32 Newport News, 33 Cape Charles. Our friends in Chabanoke are at 39, and I'm expecting lows in the lower to mid 30s. So 34 for Cape Charles. Some of the folks in Duck will hold in the low 40s most likely, being that close to the ocean, but 35 in Edenton, 35 Williamsburg for low temperatures, about 34 for Smithfield, Moyock 31 tomorrow morning, and Norfolk about 34. Now, this is going to be the fun part, right? Because I mentioned to you before, winter will come back. I showed you just a moment ago what December 1st looked like. I showed this. I'll go ahead and put this back on. This is the sudden stratospheric warming event that was taking place. It wasn't a forecast. It was an actual observation on the 1st of December. And I've said many times before that when you see it warming up at the stratosphere at the levels of 6 to 31 miles up, this map represents about 10 or 11 miles up, then it usually has a delayed effect. It's like a time release sea capsule, or maybe like a speedboat that goes by a stand-up paddleboard. You get a speedboat, it goes by, it creates crazy waves, and it causes the person to fall into the water. This is what's really surprising everybody. I got a lot of people in the weather community that are surprised that we've got some cold air coming in as early as a week from today. A week from today. Where would this cold air come from? Look no further. Look no further than Canada. Negative 26 right now in Lynn Lake Airport. Port Severn. Are these destinations that I care to visit? Probably not. No, I don't need to go up there to know it's cold. I can see it. I can see it. Now, Minneapolis doesn't look too bad because they're 34. But you know and I know what ebbs and flows. You can have a low tide in the morning and you can have a high tide in the afternoon. I'm suddenly speaking your language. If you are someone who's grown up at the beach, you know this to be true. You know that just because you got low tide at 8 in the morning doesn't mean it's going to be like that at 2 in the afternoon. It can change, and that's why I'm trying to tell you. This is all going to build. I suspect it's going to build. Now, once we hit MLK Day, Dr. King Day, which is the 19th of January, I said winter would slow down. And I've got evidence for that too. Boy, I got them all coming out of the woodwork here. So this is actually today's observation. This is representative of December 22nd. And what do you notice? It's not as warm up there. It looks like it's retreating. In fact, it doesn't look like it's very warm at all. And your guess would be correct. So that's why I think winter's going to be slowing down. There won't be a whole lot of cold air to work with. Does that mean we can't get some snow in February? No, we could. I just don't think it's as likely. I said this would be a front-end loaded winter. Some of you have had more snow than you're going to get for the rest of the year. And I'm talking about places like Gloucester and Yorktown and Williamsburg. You've had some good snow. It's not like you didn't get something. It's just you don't have it to show for it on Christmas Day. I get it. It's really academic at this point, but I can tell you, if you like having your heating bills go up because you're really cold and shivery, some of that cold air is coming back. I can assure you it'll come back in modified form. Normal high is 53 this time of year. We're headed to 56 tomorrow. I have 53 precisely for Christmas Eve, which is Wednesday at 53 with sunshine. But Christmas, Thursday I should say, is 57. I got 57 for Christmas Day, mostly cloudy, and then we're back to 52, 54. Nothing really shocking there. But as I talk about this cold Arctic air that rotates counterclockwise, when you get a sudden stratospheric warming event, which happens naturally, it will displace the wind direction. It reverses it. Cha-cha now, y'all. We reverse it, and it pushes it back down, and everybody says, I didn't see that coming. Guess what? The models are now just seeing it. In fact, the European model just started seeing it yesterday. GFS started seeing it today. It's like, oh, good thing I talked about this because this is first warning. I may not have the very precise day, but boy, I'm going to be within 2 or 3 days because I said 27, 28 may turn out to be 29, 30th. All I had to do is look at what was going on with this particular map on December 1st. And I said, boy, that looks, actually, that's not December. That's December 18th. This is December 1st. This was like on fire. And I said, wow, there's going to be a big surge of cold air before the end of the year. And sure enough, the models are just now beginning to calibrate that. It's kind of like when you make a wrong turn on your Apple Maps or your Android, sends us buffering, recalibrating, rebuffering, and now it says, oh, sure, now it's going to be cold. But who told you this before? Me. I told you this way ahead of time because I saw this was clearly handwriting on the wall. And if you need more evidence, look at this map. I hope this map will buffer. I hope this map will actually begin to show signs of filling in. There it is. Look at what's happening to the upper air pattern. There's opportunities down the road, maybe it passed by because it's still covering in, but there will be surges of cold air. That's the 29th. Holy mackerel, look how cold it is over Lake Ontario. And it could get even colder than that. But that's the early, like it's suddenly now beginning to see it. Right? I say in quotation marks. The models, people who love to worship the models when snow is coming, oh, this model says this model says that. Well, this breakfast cereal says it's got a complete breakfast, but this one does too. You know, what do I have to believe? I can tell you that this is just a sign that it will come back, and then by the time we get to the 19th or 20th, maybe in this case the 22nd of January, you're going to say there's no winter left. There's nothing left. There's hardly any cold air any there. It's not coming down. There's no more. So like I said, this would play its hand. I said it would be a front-end loaded winter. And it couldn't be coming any more on schedule than I thought. I mean, it's perfectly placed because the cold air may linger for a little while longer. There's more opportunities for this to come down, but it comes down like spokes. You can see, watching it just dive down, there will be some opportunities in the couple of weeks of January, but I don't see it lasting beyond the 22nd of January based on today's latest stratospheric warming map. Temperature today hit 44. I mentioned that happened at 12:18 in the morning. We hit 43 by day. If you're keeping track, the record high 81 from 2013. I mean, it's amazing. We're running about almost 7 degrees below normal for the month. As you look here, you can see that We had a string of 60s last week. We had 44 today, 58 yesterday, and it was 49 on Saturday. So, I mean, clearly, we've had over 2 weeks of below normal temperatures. It's been a cold December. Same thing for November. But I think we're going to start to see the tide turning toward milder weather as we head into the second half of January. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Here's the drought monitor. This comes out every Thursday, but I thought it was worth noting since we've got maybe a tenth of an inch or less coming in tomorrow. We've had a little more than 2 inches for the month, but it looks like everybody in Hampton Roads is colored yellow. What does that mean? That means level 1, which is abnormally dry. We have an abnormally dry drought. It's worse if you're brown, because that's a moderate. It's even worse if you're orange, that's a severe, and if it's red, it's an extreme. But I can kind of do-si-do around the region from Hickory, Ocean Lakes to Fort Story to Norfolk. It's abnormally dry. Level 1 for the eastern shore, top to bottom. Cape Charles, Exmoor, Onancock to Chincoteague, and Tangier Island. How about Christchurch? Looks like it's about also yellow. At Edenton, Elizabeth City. So everybody could use a little bit of rain, but I thought it would be nice to show you the drought monitor as we finish 2025. We're going to be going into 2026 with somewhat of a deficit in some spots. Now, has there been other dry areas around the state? Yeah, there has been. If you really want to find extreme, you go up to southern Maine around Portland, LL Bean territory. They really need some rain. But if you really focus on D.C. and the Commonwealth of Virginia, there are some severe droughts in some areas in orange in the northern part of Virginia. And if you look at Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, Charlotte, Greensboro, and Asheville, they too are under a moderate drought at this time. So they too could use some of this rain. Now, it's not a lot. If you come back to East Tennessee, where I have some following there, it looks like Oak Ridge and Farragut are yellow, abnormally dry. But if you're in Hardin Valley, Ball Camp, or Carnes, you're not. That's where they kind of drew the line. Maryville, not. Sevierville, you're okay. Knoxville proper, Maynardville, no problem. But Lenoir City, Sweetwater, that's where it gets a little dry. And very dry in South Texas, very dry in parts of Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois, and you can see across the Rockies they could use some rain up there as well. So that is the drought monitor as a whole. Just checking in with you. If you've got a comment note, let's see here. Let's see. They come and go. I guess this is Kim talking maybe about snow, I'm guessing. They come and go, Taj. Hang in there. But I do appreciate all of those who are watching and appreciate your patience with me with the audio issues, which may not be as perfect as I would like them to be. But I'm almost stretching out or almost done. So if you're traveling tomorrow, I mentioned some rain coming through. There's a couple of showers expected tomorrow in Pittsburgh and even snow in Boston. So if you're headed up to Boston, you got family coming in from there or you're going to there, you'll find temperatures in the 30s, but closer to 70 for Atlanta, 67 for Wilmington, Charlotte about 65, and Indianapolis about 55. No real serious delays except San Francisco right now. I'm wondering if at 51 minutes, whether or not they've got some weather delays. Looks like they may have some weather delays. I can see on this map here that most of what's falling across Northern California would probably affect areas near San Francisco. So maybe it's the wind. There is a powerful storm system that's coming on shore that's going to have some issues in California. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll look at that or the next day. I saw that in the Storm Prediction Center. But the rain that's now moving through eastern Kentucky and moving through East Tennessee is trying to race in here while it's cold enough to snow in parts of Pennsylvania and downwind of Buffalo off of Lake Erie at this hour. Now the travel forecast, if you like it graphically animated, we've got the front coming in tomorrow. That will push out. Then we've got another high pressure dome building in for Christmas Eve. And then the clouds will return on Christmas Day. And we've still got a very active system heading down the road. But some snow may move into the Great Lakes with some freezing rain by Thursday night across the northern tier of the country. 35 right now in Hampton, 31 in Chesapeake and Suffolk, 33 in Virginia Beach. It's 8-10, 44 right now in Edenton, 35 Manio, 37 in Yorktown, and with 57 in Nashville, 33 in Virginia Beach. You can see those are our current readings. We've already covered this, but now that it's 8 o'clock, maybe some of these are new numbers. I don't think they are. 71 in San Antonio. That looks warm. So does Phoenix. But really, the canary in the coal mine for some of this cold air that's going to dive back down is they're in the teens. In northern Maine, they're at 17, while they're negative 17 in Fort Severn up there in Canada, right off of James Bay. So you've got a lot of cold air just waiting to make a return appearance it eventually will come back, I'm sure. Now, if you need some more evidence of that, look at the blue and the white areas that tend to ooze on down. If you pave the highway, they'll come down, and you can see them spiking down around the 28th, 29th. Boy, does it get, oh boy, it goes all the way to South Carolina. You see that? Very cold. And then we'll maybe see this retreat a wee bit as we head toward the second half of January. But so far, so good. We've got December 30th, above normal for much of Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, while that might be closer to normal as we lose some of the coloring at Hampton Roads right through January 5th. They see something coming, and I do too. A lot colder air to round out the year. Now, Eastern Shore forecast 50 for Bloxham, Onancock, and Chincoteague, 48 Saxes, about 52 for Cape Charles. I got some rain, particularly in the morning tomorrow, 51 Exmoor. The sun should pop out for the second half of the day, 56 in Nags Head, Manio, and Kill Devil Hills, 54 in Duck, about 57 for Odanthi, and 61 for Hatteras and Ocracoke tomorrow. I talked about the Storm Prediction Center for a reason, because I like to show you where there might be some isolated severe storms. If you're traveling or maybe you're still waiting for family to get here, there's not a whole lot to see tonight. We like that. And there doesn't appear to be anything tomorrow, but I think it might be. Is it Wednesday? Yes, it's Wednesday. We have a very powerful storm that's going to be approaching California from the Pacific side of the ledger. This would affect Santa Barbara, Long Beach, Los Angeles, California, possibly San Luis Obispo, Fresno, Monterey, all the way up and down the coast. Carmel, I imagine, but you've got some areas that they can deal with some isolated severe storms. It's not widespread, but it is quiet elsewhere. So let's get through the futurecast. I mentioned that there would be some opportunities to see some rain, but we're adding the clouds right now. So think of more clouds tonight. Showers arrive by morning, and then they're out of here really as the afternoon gets going. It might be a little bit late to the party at getting out if you're in the Outer Banks, but I really think this is how it's going to probably play out for most. Here's 6 a.m. Let me take this full. It's starting to rain in sprinkle form in places like Hertford or County, or maybe Hosky or Bertie County in spots. You've got a couple of sprinkles there in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and the winds are light. This is representative of 7 a.m. tomorrow. Now, you might not be worried about 7 a.m. rain, but if you're watching the peninsulas, it really fills in at 8. So I'm looking at Williamsburg. I'm looking at, Williamsburg, Busch Gardens. I know they've got Christmas Town. And you got the Winter Lantern Festival in Williamsburg's Jamestown Settlement. You got some rain there tomorrow morning around 8. Celebration and lights through the first of the year for Newport News. Starts to move in there. Exmoor, Cape Charles has rain. This is 10 a.m. This is the heart of the event because it's trying to get out of here. It's already raining in Elizabeth City, Moyock, and we're talking Camden, Currituck counties by 10 a.m. and maybe a few showers around Gatesville at that hour, Suffolk for sure, and Chesapeake. So as that moves away, and it's trying to do so at noontime, it's already breaking out for sunshine in Williamsburg. Certainly areas around Surrey or Sussex County beginning to see some sun, but give it an hour, give it 2 hours, and it looks like this. By 4 o'clock, there's hardly a cloud in the sky. Hardly one. And I do see winds tomorrow, about 10 to 15, gusting to 25. We'll have a 25-mile-an-hour gust about that for Norfolk. Now, 11 o'clock tomorrow night, still mostly clear, and then we have a beautiful sun-filled day on Wednesday. Does it look any better? It looks great for Christmas Eve. Great at 12 noon Christmas Eve. Even at night, it still looks great, although clouds might gather a little bit at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, which, of course, is when Santa will be in action. He'll be in motion big time with NORAD and the tracking of Santa at 11 o'clock on a Christmas Eve night. He'll have some clouds, but I doubt he'll have much in the way of fog. If we get some fog on Christmas Eve, it'll come Christmas Eve morning, and really, he hasn't left yet. So that wouldn't necessarily fit the narrative of the song. You know, it might say, once upon a midnight clear, Merry Christmas. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want in terms of weather, it's not a vending machine. I always tell people that weather's not a vending machine. Just like, I want this and I want that. You can tell me what you want. I'm just the messenger. 32 in Suffolk, 35 in Edenton, 34 in Cape Charles. We mentioned these lows. This is where we're headed tomorrow morning, about 41 in Nags Head, 33 in Gatesville. So tomorrow afternoon, man, we're in the 50s. 57 for North Carolina, 56 Southside, 59 Franklin, and 52 Cape Charles. These are the highs tomorrow. So we're expecting temperature about 56 Virginia Beach, 56 for Norfolk, about 59 for Hertford, and 59 for Gatesville, 57 for Chesapeake. And here is your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. So we're up to 57 on Christmas. Spotty rain on my sweater doesn't fit. I need a gift card to spend on Friday. Okay, 52. Saturday looks decent, partly cloudy, and a few showers on Sunday at 63. I think the biggest change in the data where the models are just like, this was projected to be like, I don't know, 60, 65 just a few days ago. But now that they're beginning, the models, not people, but the models are now just beginning to figure this out. They go, no, it's a lot colder on Friday, and the real warm-up is right before it drops, because it will be dropping. This 46 will come early. We'll spend most of the day Monday, guess what, in the 30s, and we'll end Monday night, Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, in the 20s. It's all what's going to come down. It's going to come down. That would represent the 30th, 29th, and 30th of December. Does that help? I'll come back to this, but I wanted you to see this so you would have some level of expectation of what you can anticipate coming your way. Beautiful sunrise. I believe this was yesterday morning from Lisa Lynn Bethina. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Newport News has a coal terminal, and Charles calls this the coal misting. A coal misting. I like it. It's a sunrise. He captured that today on our WTKR Facebook group, WTKR Photographers group, I should say. And lastly, JL Bree had the beautiful Chesapeake sunset using a drone. Love it, and love being able to see the beauty that is across Hampton Roads and Northeast North Carolina. Thank you so much. Again, just want to highlight, we are going to see clouds increase. Not expecting any of this rain really to reach the ground until we get closer to sunrise, about 5 or 6 in the morning. I think it will start to stick, or at least start to fall, where it actually doesn't evaporate. Much of what you see here will be evaporating before it actually reaches the ground. But again, 56 tomorrow, 53 on Wednesday, 57 on Thursday. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. If you'd like to save some money this week, you've spent all of your money on gifts and gift wrapping and all the rest, save yourself a heartache and have some pizza half off. Wherever you go, you definitely want to go to one of these 6 locations, the 3 in Virginia Beach, 1 in Norfolk, but 2 in Chesapeake. And if you'd like to win some pizza, tomorrow we're going to announce some winners. Somebody within the sound of my voice will, in fact, be getting a pizza for a year certificate that will be issued out tomorrow, not Thursday. If you want a Pizzoli, you get that half off. If you want a Magnifico pepperoni, you get a half off there. And I also mentioned, if you would like to check out, they also have subs, chicken clubs, steak and cheese. They've got a great meatball sub, ham and cheese. You can get half off that. And if you're still hungry for dessert, the Cinnasquares, the double chocolate brownie, or the chocolate Cinnasquares also are eligible for 50% off. This is anything they sell. You can get half off at checkout if you use the promo code WTKR. 50. Again, very thankful for all of you. Thank you for your time and your patience with this audio, which I hope to have remedied or fixed by tomorrow. In the meantime, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or a touch of a little bit of rain like we're getting tomorrow. Just remember that every day is a gift. Every day is a gift, so make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.